I'm waiting to confirm that we're live, and then we're going to roll the opening.
Okay. Keep getting these like same stupid like junk. Unpaid toll bills, unpaid. And I gotta be honest with you, I think they got me the one time because I was just on a turnpike and I think I went through the Easy Pass lane without my Easy Pass. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, do I actually owe them?
No, it's not showing up. There we go. We are truly live on air. All right. I'm going to try and do hand signals so my audio is not in there.
Okay.
Okay? All right?
Yes, sir.
So,
All right, Youngstown, welcome to the initial episode 1 of the YCSD Sports Report. Want to give you guys kind of a rundown of how things are going to look, and then of course we're live, so I'm not a news anchor. Our guests aren't news anchors. Understand that it's probably going to be a fun set. We're going to make some mistakes, but we're going to continue to just have fun. So to kick off this week, I'm just going to kind of give you guys an update on what we had last week, what we've done inside the district last week inside the athletic world. We have a special guest prepared for you guys that you met last week, Mr. Dennis Yammer. He'll be on set to discuss the e-games portion. And then we just want to give a bunch of shout outs really fast. So shout out to Chaufin Broadcasting, Mr. Tom Gregory, his team, Mr. Naples. Again, this is something that we're doing internally. This is a broadcast brought to you guys from Chaufin Broadcasting, which is student ran, student operated, and student done. The report you see behind us, the green screens, the lights, all of this stuff is done by our students here in Youngstown City School Districts, our students here at Youngstown, and our students here at Chaufin. So again, please, shout them out as much as you can, thank them as much as we can. And the idea of kind of why we wanted to do this is, there's no better way than to spread our message here in Youngstown other than spreading it ourselves. For years, we've waited for news articles and news reports and vindicators, and again, no shots at any of them. We're thankful for them, but we have the ability to do our own things. We have the ability to do our own broadcasting just like this. We have the ability to put our own students first and show off our own kids and show off what we do in sports. So that's the idea with this broadcast. So please, I know I don't expect you guys to listen to me ramble for 30 minutes every single other Tuesday, but if you could pop in for 5-10 minutes, share the stuff, put your guys' questions on air. I don't want to call any of the students out, but we'd love to get them involved as well. Again, this is something that's totally put on by them. All the green screens and graphics, everything is put on by Chaufin students. So please share that. Please shout us out. Please understand what we're trying to do. There's no better way for us to support and show off our Youngstown City School District student athletes than to do it by ourselves. At this point, we don't feel as if we need to wait and hope others can do it. We're going to continue to do it on our own. So enough of that ramble. We're going to kind of move on with the show. So as you guys know, the first little 5-10 minutes of kind of what we're going to do, it's just going to be a weekly update. So right now we are officially in tournament time. East and Cheney High School of winter sports are officially in tournament. Tonight, Cheney boys are in action against Chardon at Cheney High School, 7 p.m. Reminder, these are tournament games. OHSAA tickets are to be purchased online. We will sell them at the door, of course, cash, but there's not passes, there's no guests, there's none of that kind of stuff. So if you guys are going to come out, be prepared, grab a ticket, hang out in the seats. It's a varsity only at 7 p.m. It is the first round of the tournament. Cheney girls, they won their first round game on Saturday, and they play tomorrow at Madison High School. Again, 7 p.m. out in Madison High School. Girls will take on their second round of the game. On Saturday, it was the first win in playoff history for Cheney High School. So if we can, again, congratulate our coaches and our team on what they were able to do over at Cheney. The girls program is really rock and rolling right now. So catch them tomorrow in action at Madison High School. That will be live streamed on OHSAA's websites, and then obviously score updates we'll provide the best we can through our Facebook pages and through word of mouth. The East girls finished their season. East boys, I apologize. The East boys, their first round game is at Madison as well on Friday at 7 o'clock. So it's like we got a rivalry week with Madison coming up. So the East boys are playing at Madison, 7 o'clock on Friday. Again, OHSAA tournament game, so we'll do our best to get the stats and reports out to you guys and share the scores. I'm sure YSN and Maludic will have coverage of those events, but if you want to watch that on a live stream, it has to be purchased through the OHSAA website. Those links will get shared through the page after. The East girls, we'll flip over to the East girls at this point. The East girls, congratulations to them. Unfortunately, on Saturday, their season did finish with a loss at NDCL in the first round of the tournament game for the girls. We want to congratulate Coach Merriweather, Coach Franklin, Coach Green, and all the girls, of course, for everything that they did this year. We finished the year with a winning record, had a good season, sent off a really good group of senior girls. Now it's going to be back to the grind to figure out how we're going to grow that team back and get some younger girls involved. But East girls did finish up their season. We're going to move on to Cheney High School, and I believe we have some clips for you guys that might play. I'm still learning the whole set, so correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll have some clips that come. But Cheney High School wrestling and bowling programs, they really kind of took off this year. We had, and here we go with some film playing, and I'll kind of talk as you guys see the wrestling matches. We actually hosted this year 2 matches at Cheney High School. It was the first time we did so at Cheney High School. We hosted 2 matches here, and we participated in about 15 other competitions. So we're really trying to put a focus on not just focusing on football, basketball, baseball, softball. We want to start adding more stuff, e-games, which you'll hear later, wrestling, bowling. We want to dive into soccer and golf. So here's some shots of some wrestling matches that we held over at Cheney and our guys wrestling. We had a ton of PRs. Cheney bowling was amazing this year. A lot of success within the Cheney bowling program. You'll get to hear from Coach Josh Smith sooner than later. And again, goals to continue. A couple other shout outs we want to do, and we always tend to forget them, and trust me, I hear about it at every single game. Our cheerleaders at all levels, high school, middle school. Every time we go anywhere, I hear from pretty much anybody, we have the best cheerleaders in the area, and I agree. Our cheerleaders bring it no matter the score, no matter where, no matter when. Our girls are ready to go, and they do so much. We had a beautiful senior night last night over at East. The girls put together beautiful things, as you guys can see some pictures here. And of course, shout out to Tanisha Franklin. Again, I'm not here to take credit for these things. Tanisha and Latalia, they do a great job at the high schools. Tanisha put on this event with the help of the cheerleaders. You can see Aiden Kearns and the Kearns family and Coach Turnage here passing out some balloons and some candy and a jersey. We had senior night prior to over at Cheney High School. So again, just doing anything we can to kind of recognize, honor, and then kind of share these things. And thank you to Chofin again and their team for being there. So here we see some more guys over at East walking out. You see Miss Franklin over there making sure things are all organized, and our student AD Kimani helping out as well. So some other news we have: spring sports starting, baseball, softball, all of that good stuff is starting. Outdoor track, e-games, which Denny will talk about as we get to there. Biggest kind of point of emphasis is here, and this is some stuff we want to communicate out. Drug testing, March 3rd. So our spring sports will be drug tested on March 3rd. Coaches, you got until March 3rd to get your rosters and all that stuff in order. Final forms must be filled out. Again, parents, please note, parents, guardians, final forms must be green in order for us to drug test. Students must be drug tested in order for them to participate in sports. So please make sure if your guys have any questions with final forms, reach out. My email will be all over the broadcast. I'll share it out. It's all over the website, but I'm nick.safara@youngstown.k12.oh.us. Again, March 3rd. Please go to our websites, CheneyCowboys.com, EastGoldenBears.com, for any and all things Youngstown City, any and all things Cheney, any and all things East. Our calendars are on there, and everything you need is on there. Again, just some more shout outs as we kind of move through the program. The one thing I want to focus on is how much goes into putting on a basketball game. I know when you guys come as spectators, you wonder why this isn't done or that isn't done. There's so much that goes on into putting on a basketball game, from cops to custodians, making sure the parking lot is clean and paid off, make sure the bathrooms have what they need to be used properly, make sure the scores table, the rosters, all of that stuff goes into play. It takes a couple hours to build up to a game. So we want to give a shout out to all of those members, all of the people that help us put on these events, the shows, Shof and Broadcasting there, recording our games live, Huddle TV, YSN, Maludic, all the different sport outlets that come and do the best that they can to showcase our kids. Again, our custodians who do the best they can to make sure our buildings are clean and safe and look good. Security who do the best they can to provide a safe environment for our games. Game workers, of course, who show up. They make very little money to come there and sell tickets or work the scoreboard or do what they can. So, of course, shout out to all of them. Latalia, Tanisha, Elijah, PJ, those are, that's my team with the athletic department that kind of helps. They help me look good. They help the district look good. They kind of run the show behind the scenes and really more on the scenes and making sure these events work. So all in all, that's kind of what we have as the weekly update. And this is going to be how it looks. And again, we'll get better. We're live. I'm going to try to do less rambling and more bullets. But we wanted to shout out everybody in the winter sports season again, with those seasons coming to a finish for some, and then obviously continuing through the tournament for the others. And then spring sports, again, drug testing March 3rd with games beginning at the end of the month. So that's kind of the 10-minute weekly update of kind of what went on last week and the week prior within our sport department. And the next portion we're going to jump into is community questions. So get my notes ready here. So another thing we did, we asked you guys, and we're going to continue to ask you guys, we really want this to be extremely inclusive and extremely open. Ask questions. You're not going to offend anybody. I promise you I'll answer any question I can to the best of my ability. Of course, we'll stay out of trouble with HIPAA and violations. I'm not going to answer personal questions, but we will answer anything and everything. I promise you there's an answer for 99% of your guys' issues, concerns, what happened, why it happened this way. And we just want to give this platform to do it. So comments in the chat. I believe we're live on YouTube. Comments in the chat on YouTube. We'll review those for the next week and answer any questions you guys have. We did have a couple questions that came up from last week, and I'm going to kind of read through those. So the first thing we're going to touch on is this kind of hit the Facebook news last night and a little bit in the morning, and the Mahoning Matters Girls Player of the Year. So Mahoning Matters reached out to only 8 schools. And again, not pointing fingers, I'm just giving you guys the truth. Mahoning Matters reached out to 8 schools 2 weeks ago asking who they wanted to nominate for the Player of the Year. Obviously, we weren't one of those 8 schools, nor were a lot of the other competitors and other schools around us. So when we saw the report go out, we obviously reached out and said, hey, we weren't informed of this. We have a lot of girls that we feel should be up for the running for this. And, submitted what we had, and they updated our profile. They updated our account. Ignore me looking down as I bring this up. I believe Alyssa is now officially back in the lead. They're going crazy on the polls right now. They both have over 11,000 votes. They're going back and forth between Alyssa and Kennedy. And again, we want to shout them both out. We want to shout out everybody that was involved in that poll. But go on there, vote for Alyssa. Votes are unlimited. Go on there and vote for Kennedy. Votes are unlimited. Kennedy is the daughter of Miss Carpenter, who works for us here in the district. Again, it's a fun, friendly competition. Mahoning Matters, they do a great job trying to run those polls. But everybody was thinking like we were left out or we weren't included. That wasn't really true. A lot of schools weren't included. They have a new journalist that was on that program. She wasn't given a lot of the school's emails. We got it updated here, so now we're added to everything, so we won't be missed again. And again, if other schools are tuned in, I would reach out to them and make sure you're not missed again, because you guys have some students that deserve to be on those polls and those lists. So hop onto our Facebook page. It's mahoningmatters.com. There'll be a link. You can go on there. You can vote unlimited times. Voting is live until February 21st. And then from there, obviously, whoever's winning the poll will be named Mahoning Valley Player of the Year in the girls program. The boys lists are coming out soon. We've nominated a couple of our kids for the boys lists. But again, please hop on there, vote Alyssa Brown. She's been phenomenal. She's had a great year this year. She's averaged 20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals. Led the Cowboys to their first playoff win, led the Cowboys to their first thing. So her and the group of girls and everybody else on that team are doing a great job. So if you guys can, hop over there, vote for Alyssa, support what she's got going on over at Cheney, and let's hope she can win that. We had another question. What sports are offered in the spring? So this is a little bit different. Cheney offers some sports that East doesn't. East offers some sports that Cheney doesn't. As of right now, Cheney High School in the spring will offer baseball, softball, outdoor track. E-Games officially is a spring sport. And I keep looking over at Denny. He'll be on your guys' screen soon. And then over at East, the same thing. We have all intentions on adding more spring sports, but right now baseball, softball, outdoor track, and E-Games are where we're at. We're looking into some flag football offerings. We're looking into some lacrosse offerings and a lot of different stuff, but currently right now baseball, softball, indoor track, and E-Games are offered in the spring. The next question, we had a couple questions here. Let me see. Can I go to the early college and play for a school of my choice? It's a good question, and we've been battling this for a long time now. That short answer is no. So if you attend the early college, if you attend a charter school, a school that is not East or Cheney High School or middle school, the school that you could play at is attached to your address. So example, obviously, if you live over in Lincoln Knowles on the east side, your address is inside that East attendance zone. The sport you can offer and play for is East High School. Same thing on the other side of town. If you're over on the west side, your school is Cheney. We have a map, and I'll send you guys a link. We'll put it in the comments. There is a boundary map that's listed on our website. If you go under YCSD.org and drop down the staff logins, you'll see a boundary map. You can plug in your address. You can ask me. You can reach out to your coach. Easiest way to understand that is, though, is if you live on the west side, you play for Cheney. If you live on the east side, you play for East. South side and the north side are kind of chopped up a little bit, so if you fall into those categories, of course, we'll get you the boundary maps and look at it. But the biggest part that we want to do to answer this question is no. You don't get to choose. A couple years ago, we kind of had this little bit of a free-for-all going on that we're trying to clean up now, where kids did kind of get to choose, but it's going to affect your eligibility. It's going to affect your stats with the OHSAA. So no, you cannot. Please make sure you're participating for your right school, your right side of town. It will 100% come back into play and affect you when you go into the college ranks and trying to get into school. We had one more question. What about Wilson, Mahoning County? So again, I won't ramble on you guys, but same idea. If Wilson, Mahoning County, if you attend those schools, that's considered to be an outside entity school, and you'll play where your address is at. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that answered your guys' question. Again, please, we want to make this fun. We want to make this interactive. Put some questions in the chat. Put some comments. Put some thoughts you want to hear about, or like I said, anything you want to know. We'd be more than happy to talk about it. So you guys are probably sick of hearing me talk. I know I'm ready for some water. So the next portion to kick off the finish of episode 1, we are going to welcome on Mr. Dennis Yammer. I believe the cameras are going to flip here. Mr. Yammer is the director of E-Games for Youngstown City School District. Denny?
What's going on, Nick?
Appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
So we're going to ask Denny a couple questions that we typed up and brought together for him. We're going to ask him, yes, on my phone. We're going to ask Denny some questions and let him kind of take over from me. So, Denny, of course, first question, how are you?
Good, man. How's it going?
Good.
How's it going?
Good. Life is good. Just busy, as you heard, running through sports and everything like about that. So, tell us about yourself. What is your position in the school district as a day-to-day person, and then obviously what's your position as the E-Games director?
Sure. So what I do here in the district, I'm actually the coordinator for the English Learner Program.
Okay.
So I handle education, differentiation, community services, outreach, resources for all of our families and students who are non-native English speakers.
Okay.
So that's what I do for the district. And then on the moonlight hours, what I do is E-Games. So esports for both Cheney and East High School right now. It's kind of where we're at. So that's my moonlight gig.
Beautiful, beautiful. So leading into esports, of course, and thank you for everything you do for the students during the day as well. For folks unfamiliar with the topic, so what is esports? What is E-Games?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that's probably the number one question I get here in the district, both from students and parents. So long story short, to keep it short and simple, esports or E-Games is essentially just competitive video games. That's all it is. But what makes it different from something you see at home, so if you're playing Duty at home or you're playing Fortnite at home and you're playing ranked, that's still very different than what we do here in the district and what other districts are doing around the country. So esports as a whole, it has to be organized. It has to be structured. There have to be a formal set of rules and obligations that teams are expected to adhere to. And it's usually team-based. So much like any other athletic, we play in a league. There must be a league. We're ranked divisionally, just like all the other. So when it comes to that, it's pretty much just structured competitive video games.
Cool. And as you guys can see right now on your screen, this is shots actually from Cheney High School, our E-Games room, and some of our Cheney High School scholar athletes that are participating. He's doing some Fortnite right now, better than I can, and. So again, these are our rooms inside the building. We have a room over at East High School. I'm sure we'll get on camera here sooner than later as well. And check out what we have, though. We just updated these facilities. We just updated every single thing that we have inside both the schools. You can see there's computers, there's chairs, there's that beautiful wall art right there that you guys see on your screen now. We've done a lot of things to really put money, I mean, essentially the easiest way to put it. We put a ton of funds and resources into this because this allows us to tap into our student athletes that sometimes don't feel like they're cut out for football and basketball and baseball. They can stay inside their computer chair and do it. So thank you for your answer on that one. And you kind of answered some of this, and we can kind of chat back and forth on this next question is, how does it fall under the umbrella of athletics then?
Yeah, this is probably the biggest question of debate actually right now, nationally speaking, in regards to esports is esports a sport, right? Yeah. And there's actually a lot of research written about this, about the language that defines what a sport is, what the characteristics are that adhere to it. But in my viewpoint and in our viewpoint that we've discussed here in the district, so we fall under athletics for a variety of reasons. And while there's not as stringent a physical component to e-games, right, we still require our athletes to adhere to all the same standards that any other sport does, and we still also have a variety of the same skill sets. So collaboration, teamwork, leadership, being adaptable to various situations, networking with other teammates, other schools, skill mastery, looking at certain strategies, improving your hand-to-eye coordination, critical thinking on the spot, technology skills. So there's still a very, very large set of items and skills that need to be mastered in order to be successful in this bracket.
Yeah, and if I can obviously add to that on my side is, I always got to put my 2 cents into some things. The biggest thing, too, is why it goes under athletics is we want to be able to help these kids. So the goal is for them to be able to play e-games and play football and play basketball, but we want to track their grades. We want to track their attendance. So with them falling kind of under our umbrella, we send weekly bag reports that Denny reviews that shows grades and shows that these kids are doing what they need to do into the classroom to allow them to participate in their realm, which, currently we're speaking of e-games. So pretty cool, though. Just another task for us to tackle, which is great, though. Hopefully OHSA starts picking some stuff on. So again, and we've kind of talked about it, but give us a little bit more of what's going on here in YCSD inside of our esports program.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So Youngstown City Schools, what we're doing right here now in the district, this is technically year 3 for us in the athletics division of esports. Yeah. We started our lab years ago at East High School. A teacher there named Chuck Stark actually is the one who started this initiative, and then I kind of inherited it over some time. And we initially started a lab, it was kind of casual play. We branched out, we were part of a league called Esports Ohio. Okay. So it was only Ohio-based teams, pretty small pool. But now we've expanded, we have our second lab that just opened this year at Cheney High School. So now we're running 2 separate labs, both East and Cheney. We have a full lab, all the computers, all the equipment, everything we need. And what's interesting about esports now, kind of where we are in the district, we're part of a league called Play Versus, and Play Versus is a national league. So we're able to compete now. Everybody who's in the same division, athletic division as us, we compete with the entire northeastern corner of the country and other high schools.
Okay.
We offer 7 games right now as opposed to the 3 that we used to offer. So we currently compete in Overwatch, Fortnite, Super Smash Bros., League of Legends, NBA 2K, Madden, and Marvel Rivals. So we have a really diverse offering in regards to what we're competing in. Additionally, we've got 3 coaches on staff other than myself. So I have a head coach and an assistant coach at East. I also have a head coach at Cheney and an open position, Cheney High School, assistant e-games coach. If anybody out there listening right now might be interested in that gig, give me a shout out. But yeah, we're continuously expanding. We're continuously opening this up. I think our next endeavor is going to be to get chess on board. I know there's a chess club at Cheney, so we are in collaboration right now to see what we can do to actually onboard chess as an official e-games offering and start talking about what we can do in middle schools for the future.
Yeah, no, that's great. Our middle school kids, as you kind of made that comment, our middle school kids always seem to, I don't want to say get left behind because it's not the right term. We do offer middle school sports and everything, but I know at some point it feels like there's just not as much coverage for middle school. Yeah. You have all these different events and you have different things for high school. So that's great. Thank you for all those answers. So, and we got the 10-minute warning, so we'll kind of move on with some questions here. But so when and where do you practice? How do you compete? How do parents, how do scholars get involved?
Yeah, so what's most important to know about esports? First things first, if you are a student, Youngstown City Schools, if you're even at Rayen, we do have some Rayen folks too who compete with us. If you want to get involved in the program, shoot me an email directly. So my email is going to be up on screen. If you have questions about esports, if you game and you just want to get involved, anything that might interest you, contact me directly. I will get you there. But if you're not sure, you're just around the school buildings, hit up our lab, give us a knock. We're there after hours, Monday through Thursday, every single week. We got a practice day, we got a competition day, so stop in. We want you to compete. We've got one more week this season before roster lock, so it's coming up here quick. Parents, what families should know, as you mentioned earlier, athletics standards. This isn't just chill time in the lab. We're not just playing Fortnite and screwing around. Our athletes must meet academic requirements, behavioral requirements. We have a lot of digital requirements in regards to digital footprint. They're not allowed to smack talk. They're not allowed to dance on kids. There's a ton of etiquette that goes into learning the actual league requirements of esports.
Cool. So how do we watch? You know, obviously we have Chauvin coming to stream the basketball games, the football games. How do we watch you guys? How do we check you guys out?
That's a good question. So right now, there isn't really any live stream like you guys do with all the other athletics. We're working on that right now, trying to figure out what the best method is for us to put out some content live. So we do have a Discord for both Cheney and East, which our athletes stream on. So those are generally internalized with our sports program. So our athletes can watch each other. We kind of scout each other's games a little bit. But moving forward, we are starting to get some screen captures now. We're recording some data, some events, some matches, and we're going to do some overlays and put those up on a YouTube channel. That's our first step. And then looking into next year, we're talking about streaming, getting a little stream set up kind of similarly to what you do with athletics, where there's a camera to kind of record us.
Cool. And of course, as you guys kind of hear me plug all the time, we'll do everything we can to share on our Facebook page.
Sure.
The Youngstown City School District Athletics Facebook page actually has a pretty big following. I think we have 5,000 or 6,000 people that follow that page. So we'll do everything we can to kind of share e-games, things from there. As you saw Denny say, and I don't know if we could get it back on the screen or not, but so Denny, Mr. Yammer, he is our director of e-games. So any questions, concerns, again, where do you play? Cheney East, what do you play? How do you play? There it is back on the screen there. His email's back on the screen. Please jot that down. Ask any questions you can. I know personally I'm going to try to push to get him to navigate down to the middle school ranks and the middle school levels and see what we can do. So, do you have anything else you had to add there?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Before closing out, the only other thing, it's one thing to know about esports. It's super really cool because it's a niche element. What's really awesome is 75% of kids who participate in esports have never participated in an extracurricular in their school district. So we do want that demographic of kid who doesn't stay after school for anything, who doesn't really partake in any additional extracurriculars. That's who we want. And that's what this program is built for.
Yeah.
And what's additionally cool, especially for our esports kids, like I said, we're in a league called Play Versus. So colleges and universities right now are also scouting esports athletes. And part of our league activity, we're in a partnership with a company called Stay Plugged In that actually links up our esports athletes with universities around the country, and they are scouting them. They track all their stats and their games. So 2 of our athletes have already been hit up by multiple universities.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it does open some doors for sure.
That's awesome. And I'll short my ending up because I have a couple questions I do want to tap into. So, and that's kind of the biggest thing. So parents, and you know, I don't know if boomer is the right word. I don't know what the word is for that age group of parents, but there is scholarship and money in this industry as well. And, you know, we see it online. We see the streamers right now is getting very popular, that in real life streaming. There's streamers making millions of dollars. So this isn't just another outlet. This isn't just a video game. I remember growing up, I fought with my parents tooth and nail, like, get off the video game, get off the video game. We want you off the video game. We want you active. We want you staying healthy and all that kind of stuff as well. But there is now an industry for e-games and esports. And so kind of, and we might have touched on it, but so we're playing other schools, correct?
Absolutely.
We're playing other school districts, but we can actually play them while we're inside of our facilities at Cheney and East. Very rarely do we need to actually travel via bus or anything on the road.
Yes, what's actually really cool and unique about esports is there are technically home and away games, right?
Correct.
We schedule a home and away team, but every time we have a match, it's in our lab. So our East folks compete in the East lab, Cheney folks in the Cheney lab. The only time we travel is if we make playoffs, we make nationals or state. Then after our season ends, we haul out. We'd probably be in Columbus.
Oh, beautiful.
And shout out, actually, Fortnite and NBA 2K. Right now, we are the #1 ranked team in Fortnite for all of Northeast, the United States, and NBA 2K. So shout out to all my players on that one.
Yeah, and financial people here in the district, if you heard that, I guess we got to get our funds ready to send our kids down to Columbus. So, and same boat, no, but Denny, thank you for everything you're doing.
Absolutely.
Thanks for kind of opening up our kids to that avenue that they may or may not have been aware of. I'm sure you have some kids that have came out that just, again, we're probably fearful to go onto a court or a gym because it is intimidating to step foot into an athletic area. So maybe when you're kind of in that computer, you're in that own little world of yours. So thanks for giving them an outlet. Again, thanks to Youngstown City Schools. I know we put in a lot of money into the e-games rooms. They weren't cheap. We got some grants.
Yep.
Correct me. I remember Charles, because I want to give them a thank you and a shout out. We had somebody last year donated us like $30,000 or $40,000 worth of the computers and things that we put in at East. Correct?
Yes. Yeah. We have a few different donors, a few different avenues. So shout out to all you guys in the past. The startup here, the donors were pivotal. So anyone who's taken part in this or donated to us, huge shout out to you. Everyone in the district who's bought into this, believed in this program and helped us build it. We are a pioneer now. Comparatively speaking to other high schools, what we're doing here is out in front of them, and it's a great opportunity for sure.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to kind of close this up. We got about a minute and a half here. And that last sentence of what you just kind of said is, again, what I'm going to kind of harp in this closing. We're here at YCSD, like I said, we're a pioneer on a lot of things. And I say this I say it the wrong way, but it's the right words. We just don't brag very well. We're typically the trendsetters and the first in a lot of different avenues. Again, here we are on a platform. We have a sports podcast. Others are going to follow suit. We have e-games. Others are going to follow suit. We follow suit from others as well. Like we take ideas. I mean, that's part of the world of education. But we have to just find a different way to brag better for our kids. So again, in ending, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening. As I said, I'm not a news anchor. Denny's not a news anchor. I promise you, we'll get better. We'll find ways to hit the bullets and not blab as much. But again, just want to thank you guys for coming out. We are back on March 4th. I'm going to try to get Coach Dwight Berry with me here next on March 4th, but he's currently chasing a state title with his girls. So obviously, if he's still rolling in the playoffs, we're gonna let him keep his focus there. We're going to try to get Dwight here to talk about what he's got going on inside that girls program, how they've been successful. Hopefully, maybe he'll bring a student or two along so we can kind of give them the platform. So again, we're back here March 4th. Again, we're every other Tuesday. We're going to go live right here on our YouTube channel at 1 p.m. Please, questions. I'm going to keep harping on it. Questions. Give us some stuff to talk about, because if not, then you got to listen to me blab for 15 minutes. I want to answer your guys' questions. So again, Denny, thank you. Thank you for coming out.
Yes, sir. It's a pleasure.
Thank you for everything that you do for our e-games, for our schools, your day-to-day job as well. So just another person inside of our school district that really wants what's best for our kids and providing that in any way. So we'll continue to support the best we can. And tune into our Facebooks, tune into our websites, and keep it going. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Shofin, as well.
Take care.
Thanks, Denny.